Aussie Tech Heads is brought to you by ATH Web Hosting. You can find them at athwebhosting.com.au. Servers operate on SSD drives, so they're nice and fast. Immediate activation of all hosting products, SSL certificates, Aussie support, domain registration, easy install WordPress, Joomla, and Drupal. For all your Aussie hosting needs, why not give us a shot at athwebhosting.com.au. G'day everyone and welcome to episode 529 of Aussie Tech Heads. How are you guys? Thanks for joining us for another week. On tonight's show, we've got MYOB customers targeted by malware. Microsoft moves quickly to patch a fully exploiting zero-day word bug. Interactive Tombstones, news on TPG, Toshiba, and Apple, and much, much more. So stick around and be entertained and also informed of tech news. Woohoo. This week on the show, we have two Jasons, so we're going to call them respectively Warlock and Milo. So let's have a look at Warlock first. We'll have a listen to him as well if you like. Okay.
How's it going, Glenn?
Good. How about you? How's your week been?
I'm ready for the Easter weekend. Cheers.
Excellent. Good boy. Good to see. And the other Jason we've got is Milo. How you doing, Milo?
You got to be made of Milo.
You do have to be. And that's a good Aussie drink, isn't it? With milk. Yum, 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 yum.
Or just on your ice cream?
Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah. I'm cover the ice cream with Milo.
Yeah. Remember in the old days, it was Milo and Activite. I don't know if you can still get Activite. You guys remember Activite, don't you?
Sure, yeah, we're all as old as you, Grandpa.
Oh, come on. What, are you serious? Hey? No one remembers?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, then. Fair enough.
Remember it.
All right.
Had it.
Now, what's been going on since we last saw you, Milo? Been working hard at the radio?
Yeah, usual stuff, and doing my Twitch TV streams when I can. It's really hard to get into Twitch TV, but it's taken me 3 years to get to where I am now. So.
Oh yes, well, as we heard last time you were here, it's all easier now that you've got the NBN. And how's that been going for you? You've been having a few hiccups with that of late. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to talk to TGB, and just like certain times, like around about now, upload's fine. That's not a problem. It's usually the downloads, so it drops from normally around about 93, 95, drops down to about 10.
What, 10,
yeah.
10 down? Not 10 up.
Yeah, and
right.
it's back right up again around about 11, 12 o'clock. So
right.
I know.
Yeah, and your NBN Warlock, that's been going fine. No.
Yeah, and my network's a bit more stable now. I've got these Netgear Ethernet over power, and so I've got one of them in the lounge room plugged directly into the router, and one in the bedroom here or in the computer room. I'm just here temporary because we've got relatives staying. But yeah, it's really good. It's as if I just had a network cable plugged directly into the modem. There's no speed drop. I just did a speed test before we came on, and I was getting about 95 down and about 34 up. So that was pretty good. I'm very happy with it. I thought it'd cut down to maybe half. And these not the expensive ones. These are the AV1000.
Right.
So a good quality one, yeah.
So you're getting now your network is through the Ethernet over electricity.
Over the power in the house.
Yeah. Right. And so you find that successful for you? What would you?
Oh, much better than the Wi-Fi. I don't know if it was the card or a slot in my motherboard, which is also possible because I had a different card in there a couple of years ago, and I ended up giving that to Dad, and it worked fine for him. But as we found out last week, I was having it'd go fine for a couple of days. I'd be playing Minecraft for a whole weekend non-stop. And then we come to do the show, and it'd be working for an hour while I'm looking up stories, and then it's, hi Glenn, dropped out.
Yeah.
And just no reason for it. The computer hasn't moved. I haven't moved. We haven't had an earthquake, and I don't think there's any sunspots happening at the time. So I don't know what it was, but yeah, this I was skeptical about the Ethernet over power. It's going really well.
Yeah, that's good. So it wouldn't be as fast as a LAN, would it?
Yeah,
it is.
Yes,
you would think it's a LAN.
Okay, nice. So what a gigabit do you think, or 100? Or you
can get up to gigabit speeds, but my NBN is 140 and I get 140. So they're talking about maybe increasing the fiber to the premises to 10 times
Oh, right.
So we
Right.
could see. But the RSP I go with can do 200
Wow.
if your network your equipment can cope with it. But
Now,
there's going to be few and far between, really.
yeah. Now, sorry, Milo, did you have something to say about the Ethernet over power?
Yeah, I haven't got the one that Warlock's got. I've got a I think it's a Belkin one,
Oh, yeah.
and I've got because my NBN is the same as what his was in the bedroom. Why they did that, I don't know. And I got the PS3 out in the lounge room, and I can watch Netflix and all that stuff on it through the Ethernet.
Mm. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I've I've got to. I've probably got just a LAN wire I drilled through the floor, put under the house, down into the office. So that's good enough. But yeah, those things sound pretty good, don't they? What'd you pay for those? Are they expensive? Like, is that the way to go? Do you think?
I was going to get the AV2000s because I thought get the good ones, but the local office works didn't have that. They had the AV1000. I thought, oh well, while I'm here, the 2000s were 199. This was 149. You can get cheaper ones if you go for like TP-Link or something like that. But this is just the only thing that they had there, unless you wanted to get the really, really slow ones that were about 300s. And I didn't want that because you usually get up to about half of what it's rated. So if you had a 300, you get up to 150 maybe if you're really lucky, but usually a lot less than that. So no, these ones are brilliant. I'm very happy with it.
Excellent. All right, good stuff. Now, look, we're going to get into some tech news stories next. Yes, well, some tech news stories, eh? Well, what do we know? MYOB, customers targeted by malware with fake invoices. Well, what's going on there? It's pretty self-explanatory, I would imagine. So, again, these things are coming through the emails. The fake emails contain an invoice telling victims they owe between $6,360 and $6,400. That's their first mistake. Why would you send an email requesting so much money? Like, seriously. Yep. But obviously, people have fell for it. Look, I'll just go quickly through this and we'll just get some comment from the Jasons. If users click the view invoice link, they will be redirected to a compromised SharePoint website hosting a Trojan in the form of a JavaScript file. So that's all going on there. Some versions also direct to a zip file containing a JavaScript payload. The JavaScript payload installs itself into auto-run, oh nice, when starting up Windows and tries to steal private information from internet browsers. The email also includes a link to the real MYOB site, making it more deceiving. But so look, my take on that is why ask for so much money? People obviously were going to ring up and say, what's this for? Warlock, what do you think? Too much money to ask for off the bat?
I think so. In my job, we see these kind of things going through all the time. And they often have some of them have like 20 links there to various headers and home pages and stuff. And it's just the one link that says click here to log on that goes to the compromised site. Even some of them, they've copied the signature off the bottom of real emails. It says this email has been scanned by Avast security and is deemed non-malicious, and they stick that at the bottom of the email so people see that and they're like, oh, it's already been scanned by antivirus, obviously it's good. But yes. They just cut and paste that and stick it on every email so that people would think that. But they see this happening all the time. So you need to get good antivirus software going. I mean, Avast that I mentioned is free, works fine for me. You can get the more expensive paid ones if you really want to. But make sure you've got something running on your computer to detect these. Don't just go out there all bare windows.
Yeah, I think the Avast, I use I'm going towards Avast now. I was on AVG, but AVG was getting a bit too noisy by way of, pop-ups and stuff on the free version. And Avast, although has a couple every now and then, it seems to be a little bit lighter and not as annoying as the AVG.
I found the same.
Yeah, okay, cool. What sort of antivirus have you got, Milo?
Trend Micro.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a paid one. Do you pay for that one?
It seems to be pretty good, and it does a lot of things in the background, so I don't have to worry about it. It does let you know, like if there's a password or something that you don't know whether it's you logged into it wrong, and I was thinking it's somebody else or whatever, and it'll send an email. So that's pretty cool.
So have you seen? Do you get scam emails? Have you noticed
I get that basically from Apple,
right?
Saying that your account's been closed off, or you need to put money in your Apple account or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
And
I yeah, actually, my Google email sent an Apple email to spam because it had a tracking number and probably the words postage in it. I ordered some some Apple Pay advertising material or something. I've come across. I thought, oh, why the hell not? I might get a sticker or something out of it. So I ordered it. It was free. And yeah, so they sent me the email about your Apple product or stuff has been posted, tracking number. It had mailed because it had already been sent to me. But yeah, so the Google engine picked it up as spam and chucked it in the spam bin. But I suppose, look, Google's pretty good, isn't it? Like, it catches a lot of spam. Like,
all my mail goes through Gmail, so it's all detected by Google, whichever spam or malware or phishing or anything like that. But the lesson to always take home is don't ever click a link in an email or open a document, particularly if it's not from someone who said, I'm about to send you a document. Can you check it out?
Yeah.
Suddenly this random email appeared from Glenn saying, hey, look at this document I sent you. Even if it had your email address on it, I still wouldn't look at it unless I message you on Facebook and say, did you really send this? You're like, what? No? Okay. Because if somebody else's computer who we both knew got infected and they had you in the address book, they could just change the from field to say Glenn Goodman and the to field to have my address, and it would look like it came from you.
Yeah, that's right. And look, I was just watching a video the other day, a security video, because I was getting ready to do the Aussie Tech Security there, another show with Roger. It's on the iTunes if you haven't heard of it. And it was talking about how this company received, and this is a regular sort of scam that the guys pull off as well. That company that'll receive an email to the receptionist saying, "Can you send me all the records, or all the employment history or something of all the employees, signed CEO," and so the lass she get or whoever the receptionist gets in there, reply, sends all the stuff, going, okay, there you go, I've done my job. Good on you, Billy Bloggs, the CEO. There's all the stuff. But when she's replied, it goes to the scammers, and they got all the info of all the employees. So identity.
Well, I've even had targeted phishing ones going to managers and managers' assistants that appear to come from the CEO with his logo and all of his information on there, saying, we need to transfer this $3 million this afternoon, please send it through. And the guy's like, I better do what the boss says, sends it through. Then the CEO comes down and goes, where did our $3 million go? He said, well, you asked me to. No, I didn't.
So I think process to implement there is to get an email like that of something, say, sensitive material, probably give the CEO a ring and say, hey, Billy, did you send me this email? You really want all this sort of stuff? And maybe, I don't know, print it all out and give it to him in paper, something like that.
Is that Billy Gates?
Yes. Chicken wings. Billy Chicken Wing Gates. that's it. Yes, Milo.
With Gmail, when you do put it in the spam folder, like you click it, whatever's or spam that you think is spam, and it goes in the folder.
Yeah.
That doesn't go in the system at all, does it?
It doesn't what, sorry?
When it goes into the spam folder, it doesn't go into your system at all, does it? It just stays in the Google.
That's right, yeah. It stays on the Google server, and it also trains their algorithms that this type of email, if you see it in the future and enough people click on this is spam, it'll train it so that if that email or something similar goes to other people or to you in the future, that it is spam, and it will automatically send it there.
That's right.
Just checking.
A lot of people are like, I got a scam, I'll just delete that. But if you actually hit this is spam, it trains the system to know what it is, and in the future it can automatically do that for you. So don't just go deleting it. Hit the this is spam or this is junk, depending on what email program you've got.
Yeah, get the algorithm.
System will know what it's like in the future. Yep. Google pulls out of massive Sydney Harbour redevelopment project. One of the world's largest tech companies, Google, was the headline tenant of a multi-billion-dollar redevelopment project in an industrial Sydney Harbour backwater dubbed the Bays Precinct. The government's development arm, Urban Growth New South Wales, had hailed the development as a once-in-a-generation opportunity to deliver innovation and attract jobs, reinforcing Sydney's reputation as an internationally competitive, resilient and prosperous global city to live, work and visit. But that vision may have to wait, with Google now saying sayonara to the Sydney Harbour site. The company insisted it had not reneged on a commitment to move its Australian headquarters to the former White Bay Power Station, which currently lies derelict at the heart of the precinct. The spokesman told news company there was never a deal, and it only ever held exploratory negotiations about the possibility of moving into the building's shell. Dubbed Silicon Harbour, the Bay's precinct would have seen 5.5 kilometres of harbour front and 95 hectares of mostly government-owned land turned into a hub for technology firms and startups. On Wednesday, a statement from Urban Growth New South Wales said it had come to a mutual agreement with Google Australia to abandon plans to move into the power station. Both parties have been through a collaborative, respectful and comprehensive process to determine a range of options for the site. I think they come up with something.
I know that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? But I think when you get the comment from them that both parties have been through a collaborative, respectful conversation, I think it was probably anything but. So I don't know what the situation.
It'd be nice to have, one area that's a technological area in Australia, and that you get all the hive mind going there, and
of course,
people meeting in lunch and talking about the technology. And if you want to visit, you can go there and see all the different places together, rather than one over at Pyrmont, some in Sydney, some a bit north of Sydney, some south, and some in Brisbane. See if you can get a whole lot of them into one area. That'd be great.
Yeah, like I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I'm with you. I reckon that'd be great. And like everyone, as soon as you mention Silicon Valley, you know what you're talking about. Over there in San Francisco. I think even now the term Silicon Beach is getting a bit of a run. Look, there's Silicon Beach. I know it's a bit of a franchise, so to speak. There's Silicon Beaches cropping up everywhere. But how cool would it be to be the Silicon Harbour? Oh, that's the first one of those I've heard of. And that's Sydney Harbour.
Brilliant.
You got that's just the name, and as soon as you hear the name, you think of Sydney, Australia. You think that is cool. Well, I don't know. There must have, obviously Google must have wanted something too much, or maybe they wanted to I don't know.
Yeah.
Pollute the water, pollute the internets or something. I don't know, whatever.
Well, Google has their data centers cooled by seawater and things like that. They build a lot of them around sea areas so that they don't actually have to pipe water in and use fresh water. Any kind of water going through cooling pipes to cool it down. And it's very, economical and also good for the environment.
Because it was a big parcel of land. Like they're saying it here, it was 95 hectares, which is 5.5 kilometres of harbour front. Like beautiful bit of real estate.
Not too bad. Plus, a lot of the tech companies also use the energy from waves to power the data centres as well. So they get all of that from being close to the water.
Yeah, so I don't know what would have happened. Maybe the government wanted too much rent, or maybe Google didn't want to pay it. But yeah, like as you said, Urban Growth New South Wales hailed the development as a once-in-a-generation opportunity. I don't think you'd go too far wrong with that. That's a bit of a shame that didn't take off. But anyway, any thoughts on that, Milo?
Yeah, it would be an excellent opportunity, like for investing in new technology, and even like if you had like a kind of like a training facility there as well. For upcoming tech guys and
that'd be great.
Great for tourism.
Yeah,
exactly. Maybe Melbourne could offer something up if there's some bit of land on the Yarra, the I don't know, the Silicon Lake or something.
Silicon River.
Yeah, Silicon River, Silicon Yarra. All right, on the other side of the harbour or bay or whatever, Microsoft moves quickly to patch fully exploiting zero-day word bug. Now, there's been a security flaw in all current versions of Office, which is being used by 1.2 billion people. Victims are drawn in by opening compromised Word documents sent to them via email that are loaded with the dreaded Dridex banking Trojan. I wish I had that music. The subject line in all cases, apparently, it reads scan data and includes compromised attachments, scan xxx.doc. So you're probably pretty familiar with these type of subjects, as when you scan in a document from your printer or from your scanner, it comes through titled, scan xxx dot something or other, JPEG or PDF. So it looks pretty rigid. You'd probably go, yeah, I'll open that. So scanned documents sent via email commonly carry these subject lines. While most malware requires human interaction to activate it in a system, this Microsoft 0 Day is able to run by simply opening the corrupted Word document, giving hackers control of infected computer, personal details, and passwords, etc. Now, this vulnerability was addressed in the April security update released on April 11th of this year. Customers who have applied the update or have automatic updates enabled are already protected, so you're safe. But if you haven't done the updates, better...
Why not?
Yeah, go check them, eh? Go check the updates. Now, we all know how to check Windows 10 updates, don't we? Just go to the...
Should by now.
Yeah, the Windows button, start typing updates. That'll get you there. That's nice and easy. I don't know if Cortana can tell you. I've never really used Cortana. Has anyone here used Cortana?
Nope.
Crickets.
Who talks to any of their devices?
Yeah.
Occasionally I'll go, okay, Google, set an alarm for 20 minutes or something like that, but that's about it.
I saw Cortana is being released onto the Raspberry Pis. I don't know if you read that. Yeah, so they must be packaging it up somehow and going to release it for the Raspberry Pi, so that'd be interesting. But yeah, so these Microsoft bugs, they're nothing to be scared of. You just got to make sure your system's patched all the time. And why wouldn't you have automatic updates on? If you don't know, if you want to check, you don't know how, just Google automatic updates, Microsoft Windows, blah blah blah, and that'll get you to where you're going. Good stuff. NBN is the wish and want of every Australian. Some people have got it, like these two that you can hear rejoicing.
I think nobody is more happier than Milo.
No, no, I think Milo was you were languishing on
he was on 2 tin cans with a bit of string for so many years. We didn't think it was ever going to happen.
No, I didn't. So was it a good day, Milo, when you hooked up and finally that speed started pumping through the wall?
I don't think I slept for 2 days.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. But just think of the things you can do. Look, when we get, when I get back onto, if I get the NBN, which is second half of next year, by the way, I'll be looking for Facebook Live. Like, I can't stream video live because 2.5 up is still not enough to do it. But anyway, look, I think both of you guys pulled a story about the NBN, but let's go, Warlock. What angle of NBN are you taking us down?
Well, another 300,000 Australian premises are getting fibre all the way to the driveway as the NBN becomes more generous with its fibre rollout. It seems the multi-technology mix has been in constant flux since the coalition government decided to scrap plans to run fibre to the premises to 93% of Australian homes and businesses. These days, it's just pot luck as to whether fibre runs to your door, your basement, the end of your driveway, or the node around the corner. Initially, fibre to the curb was only expected to support up to 300,000 premises, but this grew to 70,000 when the NBN decided to scrap the Optus HFC network. Not every home in the Optus HFC footprint is now getting fibre to the curb, only the areas which don't overlap with Telstra's HFC cable network, which is gradually becoming NBN cable, but is experiencing significant teething problems. Now FTTC is destined to reach another 30,000 premises spread across Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide and Perth, which were previously destined to receive FTTN. This brings us to 1 million fibre to the curb connections in total, and the justification for this change of heart is largely related to the cost and time to deploy. One benefit of FTTC is that it draws power from the premises, unlike FTTN, where the neighbourhood node requires its own power supply.
Yeah, so there's so many different ways of getting this NBN into your wall, isn't there, into your computer? So I think, Warlock, what have you got? You got to the premise?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Milo, do you know what you've got?
Yeah, to the premise.
Oh, sweet. Oh, I'm gonna get stuck with the HFC, Telstra HFC, which is the hybrid, which is they're gonna try. Yeah, they're still gonna give us some good speeds anyway. Now, look, I just came across this. For those of you who don't know, want to get up to date with all your little acronyms, the best one to get is FTTP, which is to the premise. And if I get any of this wrong, I'm sure you guys will let me know. And then you've got the FTTN, which is the fibre to the node, which is, say, a little box at the end of the street, and then everyone just feeds off that. That's in your street. Fibre to FTTC, fibre to the curb, which Warlock was just talking about. and fibre to the basement, FTTB, which would obviously mean you've got
Mostly for apartments.
a set of units, fibre goes into the basement, and the FTTH, which is, I don't know, I think that might be the P. Is that the same as the P?
Yeah,
fibre to the home, or FTTP. Yep. So they're the different types of ones. Now, Milo, did you have anything to add to that, or do you have any comments on NBN?
Yeah, I think it's crazy. Like, I know it's taken, how many years has it been to get this far? I mean, I've been watching you guys since you started, and it's been able to watch you guys for a second and wait for 10 minutes for a buffer. It's just, I can't understand why they had so many different versions of the NBN. They should have just stuck with the one goal, and they probably would have been pretty much finished by now.
Yeah. Oh,
it was a political football. That was the problem.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was. It's about 10 years old, isn't it? This year, since the concept was drawn up on a napkin on that famous plane ride. So, but look, I've also got one to follow on or go further into this. Is a question's been posed: is the NBN heading towards a mobile iceberg? Now, this is being posed by a telco entrepreneur by the name of Bevan Slattery, who has argued since 2010 that the NBN should never have been structured in pursuit of a commercial return and needs a dramatic restructure to meet its stated policy goals of fast and affordable broadband for all. Now, according to the experts, those guys in the white coats and the red and the blue pen in their pocket, the federal government needs to make urgent and drastic changes to the structure of NBN or face having the bottom of the network cannibalised by mobile services. So this means that, the bottom 20% of the NBN, which is, say, the slower plans, so I think they've got plans like 20 down and 1 up, essentially ADSL, these obviously aren't people that are big users of data. So why would they bother investing in the NBN into their home? They just increase the data plan on their mobile. It's probably cheaper. They might be able to increase their data plan for, I don't know, say $20, get their needs satisfied, rather than spending $60 to have their same needs satisfied. You've got to get your needs
Depends
satisfied.
on what you're going to use. Average Joe user is not going to watch Netflix on his television if it's streamed through the mobile.
Yeah.
In fact, most of them wouldn't know about hotspotting or tethering or anything like that. So they're really going to need it in the end.
Yeah, that's right. The NBN Co. So this guy Slattery, he's gone on to. He's given a bit of a lashing. He's gone and said the NBN Co. needs to offer a sub $20 plan, not something like 4 down, 1 up. That can lure users with tight budgets away from mobile and onto the NBN. Now, you can't do that when you're trying to get an economic return, but if you don't, mobile will absolutely eat the bottom at 10 to 20% of the NBN. So he's put it out there. He doesn't.
Sounds like they'd be fighting the mobile carriers, Telstra, Optus, and Vodafone, and soon TPG, who's just announced that they're going to launch as their own complete carrier rather than reselling Optus or Vodafone.
Well, we're going to get to that one next.
It's quite interesting.
Yes,
Mike. With that is, it's good to have the low end plans, because, like, I know when my dad was around, he had no idea of anything to do with computers. He had to even to get the TV working properly. So, like, for people who don't need the fast internet, that's good. So, like, like our grandmas and granddads or uncles, who don't use computers at all, they can still have the better quality phone line, but still not use the.
Yeah, my dad's the same. He checks mail maybe once a week, goes on Facebook maybe every 2 weeks, and most of the time it's playing Words with Friends on his tablet is all that he uses the internet for at all. He doesn't watch anything. He's got free-to-air TV. That's the only way that he watches anything in the house. If it's not on the free-to-air TV, he doesn't care and doesn't watch it. He's got a collection of DVDs. He can buy another one if he wants one of those. But yeah, he would be happy, paid $20 a month for one or something like that, even less.
As Warlock was talking before, TPG. Well, they've set a cat among the pigeons. Everyone's heard of Telstra, Optus, Vodafone, and now there is TPG. Warlock, did you have some on this, or do you want me to carry
No,
on?
you go ahead. My dad's got his mobile phone through there, so it'll be interesting for him.
Well, apparently they're not going to drop their alliance with Vodafone yet. Not with Vodafone, with the other mob. Is it Vodafone?
Optus.
No, whoever they're with. Vodafone.
Vodafone now, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Was
They were with
Optus.
someone else. I got confused. But they're not going to stop their association in the short term. Maybe they might be required to. But anyway, TPG has acquired $1.26 billion worth in 700 megahertz spectrum, and it's set to become Australia's fourth mobile network operator, announcing plans to build a 1.9 billion mobile network covering 80% of the population. So that's quite big, considering I think Telstra might be at 90 or something, isn't it? It's up there. TPG secured two 10 megahertz lots as part of the Australian Communications and Media Authority's high value spectrum auction, which sold off unsold lots from the 700 megahertz band on the 4th of April. Now, bidding from 3 companies saw revenues for the auction exceed 1.5 billion. How good's that? How good's the government going raising money, having an auction for air? for nothing. Surpassing, so the 1.5 billion surpassing the reserve price of about 857 million. Vodafone Hutchison Australia was the other successful bidder, securing two 5 megahertz lots for 285 million. Now I'll give you a chance in a sec, Milo. TPG joins Telstra, Optus, and Vodafone as the operator. Also revealed it would spend a further 600 million for network rollout expenditure over 3 years. So, look, if you want to get into some techie specs, the 700 megahertz spectrum is extensively used throughout Australia to provide 4G mobile broadband. TPG's purchased lots cover the 738 to 748 megahertz and 793 to 803 megahertz ranges. Now, Vodafone lots covered the 733 to 738 megahertz and the 788 to 793 megahertz ranges. So, look, if that all just does your head in, go to the aussietechheads.com.au /podcast. You'll find the show notes. And as always, with most of the stories that we talk about, there'll be links to go back to the original story from the original source, and you can link away. But, Milo, what do you reckon about that? Where do you sit in the mobile spectrum? Who are you with?
Well, I'm currently with Optus because I just bought my new iPhone 7.
Nice. That's right. Cool. And a gold one. Nice.
He says it's gold, but it looks red to me. I don't know.
It's gold, red, case, life-proof case.
Does the gold ones cost more?
No,
No.
just a different color.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
But
Right.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens with TPG. TPG seemed to be one of letting NBN people out there, despite a lot of complaints and that lack of service. I love TPG, by the way, but it is to be interesting to see how it makes the other guys like Telstra and Optus sort of like have to update their stuff.
I think the thing that I didn't like I probably, when the iPhone 6 came out, I got one, and I probably got sucked into the bit of the hype. I bought one. I had an old 5, and I needed a new one. And then it just seems every time these new iPhones or whatever come out, iPhone's been the most popular, of course, that all the plans just skyrocket. And nowadays, like, I'm not going to renew the plan, obviously. I'm paying like something like $100 a month. And I can get a better deal with the same carrier for less than half. Can you believe? It's crazy.
If they could work out a plan for your NBN, your phone, and your mobile all in one, that'd be even better.
Yeah, well, I think Telstra's sort of kind of, aren't they? A little bit like that, because they got that Telstra Air, which is quite good, where that if you're out and about and you see the pink telephone box, or someone else around the street has the Telstra Air enabled on their home Wi-Fi, you can hook into that Wi-Fi, but it'll come off your home's total
data.
Yeah, so that's good. But Warlock, what do you think about TPG? Do you think this is obviously, that's a good buy? Competition's healthy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite interesting because iiNet is the one that everyone called the Borg because it was buying up all the different companies, and then suddenly TPG came out and swallowed them whole. So now they're doing the same thing. They're coming out, lashing, and getting into all the different markets they can. So good on them. More competition's always good for people.
Well, I think TPG were the ones also that were really trying to give people faster internet. They were laying their own cables and doing things before.
IONet were putting in their own D-slams because Telstra wouldn't do that. So they got around it by putting in their own ones and then jacking up the speeds for everyone. And then Telstra had to go, well, I guess we can let people get a bit faster speed. And that's what really took it off. And then TPG came along, was doing the same thing.
Now, while we're speaking of telcos, the old data harvest. Now, I think Warlock, this was one of that you've brought out this week. What's the Australian telcos begin mandatory data harvest? What's all that about?
Yes, thanks to the government, Australian telcos will start harvesting and storing customer information from this week, but the metadata collected under the mandatory scheme will not be allowed to be used in civil legal proceedings, according to the federal government. The Turnbull government has opted against tinkering with the current safeguards after reviewing into the matter found insufficient reason for allowing exceptions. According to the Attorney General's Department, the existing restrictions on civil litigants accessing data collected under the mandatory data retention scheme will stay in place. Under the controversial program, which passed the Senate in March 2015, telcos will be required to hold on to customer metadata for at least 2 years. While the law officially came into effect in October 2015, Telstra were given until April 13, 2017 to have their metadata collection systems in place. Metadata is the essential information that can be used to create a digital footprint of an individual. In case of phone calls, the metadata would be the information on the date, duration, time, and location of the call rather than what was said. The mandatory retention issue generated fierce debate not just between the government and privacy advocates, but also irked the telco industry, which had to bear the burden of compliance. While the government has doled out a combined $128.4 million to 180 telcos across the country under its data retention industry grants program, the industry is concerned about lengthening delays in getting the money to all the recipients. According to the Communications Alliance, many telcos are still not fully prepared as the implementation period comes to an end. Metadata has been touted by the government as a basic building block in counter-terrorism, counter-espionage and organised crime investigation. However, critics of the scheme maintain that it trades away the privacy of citizens for no real benefit. There are also concerns about how easily the system can be bypassed. Communications carried out using over-the-top services like Skype, FaceTime or Facebook Messenger will not be stored. Virtual private networks, VPNs, which are now relatively cheap and easy to install, also provide a degree of protection by hiding internet traffic. And I think it was on Facebook, someone has announced today as Get a VPN Day.
Oh, right.
So if you're interested, go do some Googling on how to find a VPN. I used one called Getflix for a while, which is not too bad. That let me watch US Netflix and UK Netflix whenever I wanted to switch between them.
I got one, I think it's called Private Internet Access, PIA. Google it, you'll find it. I think it's $50 a year.
There's also Tunnel Bear, which is sort of free.
Yeah, there's a few. The thing that stuck out for me in that article there was that, and I know we've spoken about it before, but how the government has given the telcos like a couple of $1 million to implement the systems to store all this stuff. Since when is the government in the business of helping people help them? If you know what I mean, like they brought the GST.
It doesn't sound like our government does it.
No, like they brought the GST in. Like how much red tape has that increased every business? But there's no here's $5,000 a year to cover your expenses to do your bad statements. None of that business.
Nope.
But anyway, all right. Now, next we're going to hear from Milo, and he's got something to do with turtles.
Yeah, scientists have developed a way to control turtles with their mind. Ooh. It sounds like Dr. Evil might come up with, but unlike sharks where laser beams were attached to their heads, mind-controlled turtles are now a reality.
Oh, look out.
Yeah.
So what do they do getting the turtles to do? They say act like a dog. Something like that. What are they doing?
You are now a chicken.
Yeah, that's right.
Shook.
We had
researchers in Korea have figured out a way to control how turtles move with human thought. The new technology uses the turtle's natural flight or fight response to tell it which direction to swim. The system created by researchers from this is going to be fun, the Korean Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. Yeah, I got through it. Combines two technologies opposite to one another: brain to computer interfaces (BCIs), which allows humans to control machines via thought and
Wow.
computer
Well,
to interfaces.
I don't know. Look, is this fair income, or is this story wasn't on April Fool's Day, was it?
No, they have a camera on the front, so they can see where the turtle is. They got a servo motor, Wi-Fi transceiver, control module, Raspberry Pi that Will keeps
Right.
talking about. Batteries. What else have they got here? Black semi-cylinder, whatever that does, and a tracking monitor marker thingy.
The good old Raspberry Pi. It's good for everything. Mind control.
Yeah.
Mind control.
Yeah. We had a turtle, and we had to evict it.
Yeah.
It was stuck under our steps. And when the floods came, when the waters came, I had to. It would have got stuck in there and probably drowned because they do still need to breathe. So I had to. It went in, grew, and couldn't get back out. So I had to get it with one hand and like swap it hand to hand through the steps because the top step, the gap at the top was higher. So anyway, I got it out and then it just ran for its life, and then it just popped back in the water and see you later, little fella. Now, bye. Now, look, that's a bit of a strange story, and probably keeping with it. Hey, no. What'd you say?
I thought I liked the murder bit.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I've got another strange one.
Good.
It's not. It's not. Maybe not as strange as turtle mind control, but tombstones. Now, this is probably quite spooky. Tombstones are set to become interactive. So how do you like those? Now, what happens here? Look, I'm going to. For those who are watching the video, there is a video, by the way. If you want to watch the video of the show, it is on youtube.com/
the Tombstone. A lot more information
Aussie
about
Tech Heads, and I'll just try and stop that from making noise. Here we go. Because I wanted to... Oh, I wish that had stopped making noise. But there we go. Now, look, I'll tell you about the story now. Now, each tombstone will have a display embedded into it, like an LCD screen, I guess, with pictures and details about the deceased. It's a 48-inch panel, so it's no small screen. From a distance, they look like normal tombstones, but when these new ones are aware, if you stand in front of them, they can detect your presence using built-in sensors and start interacting. It's gonna be spooky, wouldn't it? What is on display is up to the family of the deceased or the deceased themselves if they get a chance to sort all this out before they depart. And voice, scrolling text, audio, video, mixture of all three. There's even going to be a smartphone app allowing audio to be streamed to your device rather than having speakers in the tombstone. Oh my god! Yeah,
you just have the speakers automatically detect when someone comes past and go, "Woo, I'm not really dead." Woo.
But as for the cost of all this, like a 48-inch display is not going to be cheap. But
no.
Yeah, they reckon it's going to cost roughly around $3,200. They're weather and vandal proof. I don't know about.
They'd want to be because even the concrete ones and marble ones get vandalized quite often and easily. They'd have to run off solar as well.
Well, that's right. I was just going to say, like, how do they get the power to them? You know, like, yeah. So obviously, there's going to be a bit of a solar thing going on, or you're going to have to pay to get power laid and all this sort of stuff. But
wouldn't do any good in Britain because they don't have any sun over there.
No. But then, was it on this show the other week we were talking about vertical burials? Were we talking about that? You instead of getting laid down horizontally, you get down in a vertically in a hole. Just weird stuff, isn't it?
I think Milo's infected your brain now.
But yeah.
He's controlling you. He's got you, MK Ultra, man.
Yeah.
It could have, when you're being buried, like in your part of your will, have it say that if you wanted to have like certain battery packs somehow connected to, like a connector, you know, like so you have, how can I say it, like a maze of connectors all going to a single hub at the crematorium, you know, or the head at front entrance of the cemetery. So maybe, and then that is powered by the street or something.
But could you
then-
imagine, like, your cars are getting hacked, your toasters are getting hacked, everyday ovens are getting hacked. So, like the old Tombstone, they're going to get hacked as well. People have some fun with those, wouldn't they?
Ransomware.
Yeah. Pay up or you'll die. Oh, that won't work. All right. Look, also on Aussie Tech Heads on iTunes, you can catch the Aussie Mac Zone, which is if you're into Macs and iPhones and all that. Michael and Garth, they go into just news and reviews and tips and tricks. And mainly I listen for the tips and tricks for the iPhone. And Garth is pretty good. Got nimble fingers. He knows his way around the iPhone. And Michael, authorised repairer, so he definitely knows what's going on. And also other shows to look out for on the iTunes: Obsidian Loft, Old Fart Geeks, and Aussie Tech Security. All right. Yes. Was there a comment there?
I just was saying I miss the old farts.
Yes. Well, there's probably a couple of
wheels ready.
Yeah, there's a couple of lines there, Milo, but I won't go with those. But yes, I think Warlock had the best one. Yeah, wait till Will is good boy, Will. He went down and helped out in the floodwaters down in Lismore, so good on you, Will. Went down lending a helping hand. But yeah, Will and Eric are busy this week, so hopefully we catch up with those guys soon. But anyway, we're going to keep forging on. All right, now Toshiba. Well, they're not looking too good, are they? Look, they do a lot of things around the place. They're most commonly well known to us as laptop makers. But anyway, their future is in doubt as it reveals nearly $7 billion losses. Now, it is possible that Toshiba will now be delisted from the Tokyo Stock Exchange after restructuring its divisions to counteract growing losses and seeing most of these divisions improve as a result. Toshiba was rocked by losses experienced by nuclear power subsidiary, I can't even speak either tonight, Westinghouse Electric, which has filed for bankruptcy. So they're not going too good. Recorded an annual income loss for the first 9 months, which is April to December 2016, of 6.9 billion Australian dollars. That is a lot of money to lose, but it was a write down as well. But a decision to spin off Toshiba Memory Corporation as a separate company means it can more speedily sell all or some of it to generate money to pay its debts and rebuild capital. Now, who should be interested but Foxconn is reportedly one potential buyer for the chip business. But look, I think Toshiba ran into, not saying that this was the falling of the giant, but they ran into issues not too long ago when they had some spam or spyware installed on their machines. Was that Toshiba, Jace Warlock?
I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it might have been. But anyway, so they're not looking too good. But Toshiba laptops, I've seen heaps of those. They go great. My mum's got one. I see a few of them. I just replace the hard drives in them, and they go for another few whiles. Yeah, so they're good. All right, Warlock's got an Amazon story. What's going on with Amazon?
Yeah, the streaming war is seriously heating up, with Amazon reportedly committing $6 billion to its video on demand service in 2017 in a clear bid to take the fight to Netflix. The financial commitment nearly matches the staggering $8 billion budget Netflix says it will spend on original content this year. Amazon Prime recently launched in Australia, and with the lower price point, the company is keen to lure Netflix subscribers onto its service while it continues to build up its library. The $6 billion figure Amazon will spend on content is according to analysts at Wall Street firm JP Morgan, and is a higher figure than many industry observers had expected. By comparison, renowned broadcaster HBO, whose online streaming service is not readily available to Australian consumers, spent $2.6 billion on programming in 2016. In December, Amazon made its video service global by entering 200 countries, roughly a year after Netflix made the move. At the same time, Amazon has moved to bulk up its offering of original content, including paying a reported $320 million for the Top Gear revival. Last week, Amazon Studios boss Roy Price told the audience at an industry conference that the company's focus was on the creme de la creme of its blockbuster shows. While the rights and investment can be expensive, Amazon wants to boast the actual shows people are talking about, he says.
So is the Prime, you can sign up to Prime out here?
Yep.
Do we know?
If you're really into Top Gear, a lot of people are doing it just for that.
Oh, that's right. I think,
I'm sticking with my Netflix. I'm happy with it.
yeah.
Yeah. They do on Twitch TV. They got this new cheering thing where you can, instead of giving somebody a donation, you can sign up with Amazon Prime, and you can like give free cheers. So it comes up like an alert on screen and stuff like that. So that's pretty popular on Twitch TV. But I haven't seen Amazon Prime anywhere in Australia that I've noticed yet.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think it is here. I think I heard or remember Eric saying he's signed up for it because he's the Top Gear fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Well, let me just Google that. I'll have a look and see if we can.
Yeah, a few friends of mine said they signed up just for the Top Gear show.
Oh yeah, so you can do it like legit in Australia. Prime.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Prime.
And Amazon have had servers in Sydney for a long time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, there we go. Yeah, amazon.com/prime-video. That looks like the way it goes. TV
I would like
Prime.
to see services like this, say like Amazon and Netflix, to not just have Australian content or UK content, but why can't they, I suppose eventually it'll happen, but have it so that you can have the same content in America that you would in Australia, vice versa, without having to have the VPNs and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I think firstly, it looks like you can get in Australia because I just logged into it because I had an Amazon account, so that's good. But yeah, look, I know this region business, you know, I think look, they've learned another lesson again with this. Is it the Batman Lego movie where there was a 4-month delay in the release in
They said they
US?
learnt last time that it was a very big mistake to delay it in Australia, so they're going to do it again.
Because I know, like the urge is great, isn't it? Like, you know, you want your big movie to come out at Christmas or in the summer, you know, and the summers are opposite for us in the US. So the urge is great, you know, like you're thinking, oh, no one's going to go and watch a movie in the middle of winter. You know, we want this to come out in the summer, but by the time the summer comes around, if you hold off, everyone's going to see it by whatever means possible. So, yeah, I think it's just getting to the stage where one world government, one world internet streaming, all that sort of stuff. You need to do it. Yes, you do need to do it. Now, yeah, so, it looks like it is available in Australia. It's Amazon Prime. Looks like they've got a few good shows. The Grand Tour, which is the Top Gear spin-off.
Yep.
Because they're not allowed to call it Top Gear, are they? I don't think the people that watch Top Gear like the new Top Gear. I've heard that.
No, I don't think so.
But yeah, so yeah,
I haven't even seen that one, so
that's not too bad. I'm not don't religiously watch it, but it's not too bad. Yeah, so they got heaps of movies and stuff, and look, but Amazon being Amazon, they got their own storage and distribution facilities, haven't they? So
and you're a bit of a Stan man, aren't you too, Glenn?
Yeah, I've had a look at Stan. I've had a go at him. He's all right.
as well.
Presto.
Oh well, presto. God rest its soul. It's it died. But like as we said as soon as all this Stan and everything came in, there's only going to be one winner. But now that look, Amazon's raised its head. But back then it was just going to be Netflix. They will just win out.
Yep.
They're just too big. So watch this space. Netflix versus Amazon should be a beauty.
And apparently Stan owns a lot of the Amazon exclusives, so even Amazon Prime won't be able to have it in Australia until it's gone through the Stan exclusive, which means that they've sort of shot themselves in the foot there.
Yeah. Look, they've got to start getting all this together, haven't they? Because it's just going to, the pirating of this stuff is just going to keep going. Everyone's heard of Swatch. I thought the Swatches were those, the coloured watches, aren't they? Well, Apple is taking Swatch to court for something different. I reckon Apple must have a whole wing of just legal eagles, you know, just ready to pounce in their new UFO. But anyway, Apple takes Swatch to court over Swatch's tick different ads. Wow, what the confusion or the blue is all about. You may remember, cast your mind back 30 years. You might remember Apple had the advert and the campaign, the Think Different campaign. Well, now Swatch has got the Tick Different. Bit different. I don't know if I would get that confused. I would get that Swatch, Watch, Tick I'm with it. So Swatches use.
Apple's probably going to say because they've got the Apple Watch now, and you're doing a watch thing, so therefore you can't steal that kind of idea.
Yeah, well, Apple and Swatch were in trouble earlier, weren't they? A couple of years ago, because in September last year, the UK Intellectual Property Office upheld Swatch's opposition to Apple's efforts to trademark iWatch in the UK. It ruled that the term was too close to iSwatch and Swatch. So this might be revenge. Revenge for Apple. They want to take revenge over Swatch. Now, anyway, let's talk about what's going on with the Tick Different.
Can't we all just play together nicely and have a good time?
No, apparently not. Now, Apple says the phrase unfairly references its Think Different campaign, which ran in the 90s. Swatch said the slogan was a nod to one of its own campaigns from the 80s, which was always different, always new. Apple used Think Different in its adverts from 1997 to 2002. I thought it was a bit earlier than that, but anyway, that's what it is. In what was thought to be a response to IBM's Think Ad campaign. So they've really copied it anyway. Apple's copied it from IBM. And now Apple saying Swatch has copied it from them. A 1998 television advert featuring black and white images of historical figures such as Einstein and Gandhi won an Emmy. That was the Apple ad. Now, Apple lawyers, here we go, Lentz and Staline, there's different ones every time, isn't there? Said that the tagline was long considered the core of the Apple brand. Pfft, please. Legal experts say that to win the case, Apple must show that Swatch's use of the phrase "tick different" provoked an association with Apple products in the minds of at least 50% of consumers. A similar complaint lodged at the same time with the Swiss Federal Institute of Intellectual Property was rejected. Swatch was granted the trademark status for the phrase "tick different" in the US in 2015. It is also trademarked for the slogan in Switzerland. So I don't know. Good luck to Apple if they try and get that, but leave it alone. That's different. I wouldn't have thought of Apple if I saw a watch.
That sounds a lot like revenge, doesn't it?
It is. It's revenge, all right, because of the last year's problems. But I don't know, Milo, Swatch and Tick. Do you think of Apple?
Does your head in?
But Warlock, Swatch, Tick, Apples come to mind.
Not really.
No. That's like, I think Apple even got upset when Woolworths changed its logo because
Yes.
the Woolworths look like an apple. Well, maybe it does, but it's got nothing to do with computers.
Doesn't look like their Apple.
No, that's right. Theirs has got a bite out of it. Woolworths was whole. So there. Like Woolworths couldn't have an apple with a bite out of it.
And
Yeah.
it's trouble with coming up with the trademark or trade name, even like for my band, it's so hard coming up with different names without worrying about somebody else has done in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I know. It is hard, and you got to go searching through the trademark register and the whatever just to make sure that you're going to be right. But who knows? But look, Milo, you're got a vinyl record story, and I've heard through the couple of weeks that vinyl is increasing sales 70% year per year. What do you got to tell us about vinyl?
Yeah, vinyl gets another spin around Australia. Whatever way you spin it, vinyl sales are up in Australia. Whopping 15.1 million worth of records was sold across the country in 2016. That's records. Up 70% to the previous year's figures from the Australian Recording Industry Association ARIA show. It was the sixth consecutive year that the industry has seen an increase in the demand for vinyl. Vinyl is really selling really well, and it actually took over CD sales the last half of last year.
Wowzers.
Matt Hardy, of managers of Red Eye Records, he says biggest sellers on vinyl cover all. I'm sounding like Glenn. Engineers with particular interest on back catalogue releases like the old classic rock and hip hops. Last year, the biggest seller was David Bowie's Black Star, which obviously had a bit to do with his passing. And things like Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd will sell multiple copies a week. Same with Fleetwood Mac's Rumours, Beatles albums, etc. he said our album sales are not just confined to nostalgic baby boomers. One current Australian psych rock band that sells particularly well in that format, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. That goes really, really well. Any new album of theirs, we can sell quite a lot of copies and have 3 albums a year. And they're getting kids as young as 12 with their parents that come into that have dug out the Dell turntables out of the garage, and they want to put Taylor Swift on it.
I don't know if mine would actually work. My turntable. I think it's. I've got one that I got when I was about 5. It's a little portable record player. Probably should pull it out. I think the needle's stuffed.
And it plays Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I've seen them. They got the little metal teeth on there, and it's got little bumps that go around. And
That's right. Yeah,
Fisher Price, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's a real one. But yeah, so but look, records. I don't know. Like I know I get it's the nostalgia of it all, but if you're after audio quality, can't you just get a really big, a WAV file or something, a high def WAV file? Yeah, wouldn't that be the same? Like,
I don't want meter anymore. I don't buy DVDs. I don't buy CDs. I don't want records. If I can't digital it, then it just takes up space now. I've got DVDs sitting in the DVD cupboard there that, you might watch once every few years, if that, and then don't watch it again. So that just takes up space now.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the head unit for my little car, and it doesn't even come with a CD player. It just comes with a USB, so you can, or Bluetooth.
Yeah,
but
it's good.
I love the sound of vinyl if you can have the right sound. Like if you got a really high.
Look, it does sound good, but I don't know. I think as Warlock said, FLAC or high quality FLAC or a WAV file. I think they're supposed to sound as good as a vinyl, aren't they? Except you don't get the. But anyway,
maybe that's what they're missing.
That might be. It might be. It might remind them of the sound of their mother's heart. Who knows?
Falling in the lounge with the record going shh.
That's right. All right. Well, that just brings us to the end of this week's show. So thanks for joining us. We can be found at facebook.com/Aussie Techheads, twitter.com/Aussie Techheads, or youtube.com. You guessed it. /Aussie Techheads. Email us, glenn@aussietechheads.com.au, Will Warlock at aussietechheads.com.au, and Eric at aussietechheads.com.au. Where can we find you, Milo?
MiloGuy.com via Aussie Tech Heads web hosting.
Good stuff. You can hear Aussie Tech Heads on AussieTechRadio.com. There's a 24/7 back-to-back play of some of the best tech-related shows / podcasts from around Australia and New Zealand. New shows added each Friday. So go and jump on the best app to get would be the TuneIn Radio app, cross-platform. Search Aussie Tech Radio, and you are away, baby. Away. All right. Thanks, Milo. Thanks for coming in and giving us your all. Thanks, Warlock. Thanks to you too.
No worries. Good to see you again. Catch you again next week.
Cheers, and
have a good Easter, everyone.
Good luck for the week.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.